Hello everyone, my name is Shakira Hood, and this is my presentation of my Science Plaza and Carver Corridor design. The Carver Corridor is an area that has great potential to be a gathering area for North Carolina A&T State University. It is mainly a large field area that currently has no use. It is surrounded by the Science Building, which was recently constructed, and Carver Hall, home of agriculture and landscape architecture students. Across the street is the Truist Stadium, where many of the school's football games are held. During homecoming season, it is an area where foot traffic is heavy. This gives the area the opportunity to become something more than what it is. This is my physical and biological analysis of the site. Other than the grass, the vegetation present on the site is well cared for. However, it is very limited, making it hard for different types of insects and animals to live there. There are multiple flood zones, which present the opportunity to bring in plants that love water and the shade that the buildings cast. There is very little lighting. Most of the light poles are right here along the main pathway towards the science building. There is no seating besides the two benches at the entrance of the building. This is my cultural analysis of the site. The site is located on an HBCU where Black history is continuously celebrated. The science building is fairly new, and Carver Hall is not in bad shape but looks old. Both buildings are made predominantly of red brick. There are transformers near the building that ruins the aesthetic of the site. The site gets heavy foot traffic, especially during homecoming season. The key issues and challenges consist of poor soil. The area is noisy, mainly due to the heavy vehicular traffic on the main street, and it can get heavy foot traffic during events. There's also very limited space for walking or seating when these events occur. There are multiple flood zones, it doesn't meet ADA requirements, and there are a low variety of plants, creating limited habitats for insects and other animals. My first precedent for this design process is the Little Rock Central High School located in Little Rock, Arkansas. The Little Rock Nine were 9 African American students who successfully desegregated Little Rock High School when they attended in 1957. The school is marked as a historic site due to its history and participation during the Civil Rights Movement. The landscape consists of large amounts of lawn area, sunken gardens, and reflective pools to honor the Little Rock Nine. The site is relevant to the project due to its celebration of the progression of African American history. The project is located on an HBCU, which was initially built to give African Americans the opportunity to receive an education when white people wouldn't allow African Americans to attend their institutions. This site was chosen due mainly to its design of its reflection pool and the curvilinear paths that surround it. The second precedent chosen is Christopher Park, located in New York City. The idea of Christopher Park was first introduced by residents. Generation after generation, the park began to grow into a space that welcomed all types of people. As the park is located near the Stonewall Inn, an area that was highly active during the birth of the gay rights movement, it was mostly meant to be a safe and accepting place for the LGBTQ community. It's also an African American and Latinx historic site as a civil rights milestone, a reminder of our shared American history. The landscape consists of brick paths and is enclosed by an iron fence. A plaza with benches and statues commemorating the history is also present in the park. Similarly, the project is located in Greensboro, home of the Greensboro Four, Warnersville, a community of freed slaves and many refugees coming from around the world. Greensboro was meant to be a safe place for all. This precedent was chosen due to its use of brick paths and the ability to include visitors into the history of the site's location. It was also chosen because of its extreme use of diverse vegetation. The third precedent chosen is Lincoln Park, located in Washington, D.C. Lincoln Park is a memorial located in D.C. near the Capitol building. It was built to honor the gain of political freedom for African Americans at that time and was also a site for many civil rights movements during the 1960s. The landscape consists of large lawn areas and paths that follow geometric pattern and the natural topography of the land. Also present are 2 memorials. This site, like the ones previously presented, is a site that celebrates the pride and progression of certain people. Each project is a place of security where people can feel safe and accepted. This precedent was chosen mainly due to its extreme use of vegetation and its use of memorials and large lawn areas. The program elements I plan to use in my design are a plaza area, a terraced lawn, rain gardens, light poles, trash, wooden benches, a reflection pool with a statue, a swing chair, and a brick path. These are my concepts. Each concept was designed to allow more walking, seating, and relaxation space. In areas where water tended to pool, rain gardens were placed. Pollinator gardens were also placed to create habitats for different species and create a variety of vegetation throughout the site. Within my first concept, I wanted to follow the theme of security and progression for people throughout a space. So I wanted to create a sort of lock and key design. I put my lawn towards the entrance of the science building, a rain garden within the center of the site, and a pollinator garden by the main road. I followed the same design placement of the areas in my second concept and my third concept as well, but I used more of a rectangular geometric pattern throughout the sites. This is my rendered master plan. I went along with my first concept. This site was made into a hangout spot for students and visitors. The focus area is a large plaza area with a reflection pool in the center. There are benches facing towards the pool so visitors can enjoy the beautiful view. Surrounding the plaza is a lawn area consisting of swing chairs for relaxation. There are multiple rain gardens to deal with the previous flooding issues while providing the beauty of nature. Within the rain gardens and pollinator gardens, there is a variety of vegetation to invite wildlife and bring a more lively and colorful aura into the area. For my design, I decided to use the brick paths to not only follow the precedents that I've presented, but to follow the aesthetic of the buildings surrounding the area. I also included a lot of vegetation to give off shade and color. I kept the existing vegetation around the science building because there was nothing wrong with it, it just needed to be cared and loved for. I created this reflection pool with statues in the middle, surrounded by wooden benches. I included this terraced lawn for lounging, picnicking, studying, and a swing chair in this area. The plants in my design consist of willow oak, sweet bay magnolia, American holly, great myrtle, eastern red cedar, marsh marigold, oropetalum, glossolabilia, American beautyberry, turtlehead, cardinal flower, and blue-eyed grass. All of these plants low water and are shade tolerant, which is necessary due to the existing flooding problem in the site and the shade that the buildings tend to cast. My hardscape material consists of stone, which border the lawn areas and the garden, red brick for the walking paths, turf for the lawn and the terraced lawn, mulch for the gardens, wood for the benches, and steel, which is used for the statues in the reflection pool. My first perspective is located between the science building and Carver Hall, which is on the right. It is just a small walking path with a bench located under an oak tree for shade. In front of the bench is a small pollinator garden which invites insects and other animals. The second perspective is faced towards the terraced lawn. You can kind of see a bit of the plaza area to the right and the swing chair located under the second oak tree on the site. My third perspective is facing towards the plaza area, which is closer to the entrance of the science building. Here is a rain garden. This is an area where water tends to flood. I didn't want to include so many lampposts within the plaza area, so I included lights within the bottoms of the bench in the reflection pool. Here is the small statue that spews water, and located here is the terraced lawn. For this project, we have also began to create construction documents. They are currently in progress. This is the cover sheet. This is my master plan sheet. It is slightly different from the master plan that I just presented due to modifications that I've made along the way with building the 3D model and creating the final master plan. And this is my layout plan that I've began to create for my design. That is all. Thank you so much for listening.